Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our live training webinar today. Let's go ahead and kick things off. My name is Siobhan, and I'm a professional services specialist here at Accelo. I was previously a client, and I've been right where you are attending these sessions. I fell in love with the software and what it can do for service businesses looking to streamline how they manage their client work. I'm looking forward to co-hosting this Accelo live training webinar, which we hope will contain useful information for all of our clients who have joined us here today. On today's webinar, I'm joined by Corin, who is a professional services manager, and we're on the same team here at Accelo. Corin helps Accelo clients manage change and successfully implement our software. She has served clients from diverse industries from all around the globe during her 6+ years of experience in software and tech as a project manager. She's got some real-world experience to bring to the table, and we can't wait to share it with you. With that being said, we wanted to be upfront with you all about the content today, just in case you're expecting something a little bit different. Today, we're focusing on tips and tricks that will save you time and make your lives easier. So prepare yourself for a holiday special that's designed to gift you back time this December and beyond. We're going to cover customizing product areas in Accelo so that they align with your priorities, shortcuts and hotkeys to save you time, tips to find your work faster, and a bunch of other useful time-saving tips and tricks. On top of that, I quickly want to touch on the recommended user experience for getting the most out of today. Today's session is tailored to beginners. So that's those of you who've been using Accelo for 6 months or less after your implementation go live. In saying that, myself and the internal team who worked on preparing this webinar all learned a few new things about Accelo from the tips and tricks that will be featured. So I'll bet money that there's more advanced users out there who can still learn something useful today. I also want to mention permissions here. You all have different user permissions set up in your deployments based on your roles and responsibilities. So as you're following along with our live training today, you might see slightly different options show up in your view, and this is why. If you have any questions along the way, please add them into the Zoom Q&A feature that's built into the bottom panel of the application. This is different from the chat feature. So to make sure your questions are on our radar to be answered, post them in the Q&A feature, and we'll try to answer all of the questions during our live Q&A at the end. However, if we don't get to any, don't worry, because we'll respond to every question by email after the session. Let's jump right into it, guys. It's that time of year where people are busier than ever, but the months get shorter. December is here. I don't know where the year went, but December is here. And the holidays are right around the corner. We all want to work smarter, more efficiently, so we can get back to spending time with our families and friends. So on that note, let's start at the very beginning of your user journey in Accelo and learn how to customize your home screen. Landing on a homepage in Accelo that's super useful for your role can make all the difference. Corin, would you please show us where to do this in your deployment?
Yeah, I'd certainly be happy to, and thanks for having me today, by the way. So in your Accelo account, your homepage is a great place to start if you're looking to save time. And that's because it's the first page you see in your account and essentially your launching pad. The default home screen in Accelo is the global stream that we're looking at right now, which is essentially a news feed of all client activity in Accelo. However, there are other pages that we can customize this home page to that may be a better fit for your role depending on what you do. So in order to customize this, we can go to the top right corner and select My Preferences. You might notice that today I am logged in as Pam Beasley. And so if you're a fan of The Office, you probably know Pam is constantly bothered by distractions from Michael and the rest of the office. So I like to think that these are some tips Pam could use as well to help her survive the end of year and the holiday party planning committee. But with that being said, TV shows that I personally like to binge watch aside, let's get back to our demo. So in our user preferences, if we expand our default screen settings, you'll see we have the ability to adjust our default home screen here. And you've got quite a few options in here, so we'll go through a few examples. So take our inbox option. This is a great option for someone who likes to start off their day in their email inbox, going through everything. Or if you're more of someone who wants to see what kind of tasks you need to do each day, task board is a great fit for you because that'll automatically open up on your homepage, your task board. Pam tends to get a lot of work from different parts of the office, so she's got a lot of tasks coming to her. So I'm going to choose our task board option, and then remember to hit save to save that choice. And now that we continue back to our homepage, we should be able to see that instead of our stream, we've now replaced it with a task board, which will make it even easier for Pam to start her day off right.
Nice. I'm a personal fan of my inbox as my homepage because that's generally where I start my workday, but this task board is also a great option. Now, Corinne, when we were looking at the default screen settings under user preferences, I saw a bunch of other options for default screens. Let's jump back into that setting area. And can you show us what these options do?
Yeah, great catch. So not only can we update our homepage screen, we can actually also update our defaults for some of the icons up here. So for example, if I click my task icon right now, it's actually going to open up that same deadline task board that we just made our homepage. And we have a couple options here, or alternatives that we could adjust this default to. So I'm going to go back to my preferences to show you that. Reason why you might update these defaults. So say, for example, if you are a manager, someone who oversees other people in their work, instead of your own personal deadline task board, you might find that the assignment or assignee task board is a better fit for you, because this will enable you to see what kind of work your team has on their plate. So I'm going to make that selection. Go ahead and hit save. And now if we go back to that task icon, you'll notice my task board looks a little different now. This is our assignee task board. And if Pam was overseeing other employees, she'd be able to quickly look up other staff members in this assignee section and see what kind of tasks they have on their plate.
A whole lot of customization with just a few clicks. I love it. Okay, so another product area of Accelo that we discovered a bunch of time-saving tricks for is in your inbox. Corinne, can you show us your favorite tips for working smarter in your inbox?
Yeah, so while we're focusing on our top navigation, the inbox is a great call out because you'll find your personal inbox next to those time, task, and schedule icons. If I go ahead and open our inbox now, I'd love to walk you guys through some of my favorite tips in here. So personally, you know, I spend a lot of time in my inbox, and I spend a lot of that time following up on clients. And one of my favorite features that is really easy to miss is the email read status. This is handy because it helps me know whether or not a client has had a chance to read my email without me having to actually check in with them myself, which saves me a lot of time. So give you an example, if you open an email like we're looking at this one now, looks like Pam originally sent it off yesterday, and you'll notice that the recipients up here are highlighted in blue. And what that means is those recipients have read the email. And then if you hover over their names, you can also even get details on when they opened it and when they took a look at it. So it's a great way that can help you gauge whether or not you need to check in with a client.
That's a good one. I definitely use this when I'm following up on my clients with our project work. Now, I heard that you can also turn emails into tasks with just a few clicks. Can we check this out next?
Yeah, so this is a great option if you're someone who heavily manages your work using tasks. You love those task boards. You can actually create a task directly from a client email. That way you can add it as a to-do on your task board or assign it out to someone else. To do this, all you have to do is on the email that you want to turn into a task, click the little three-dot menu. That'll expand some menu options for you, and you will see a new task option. So what happens when you click this is it'll open up a create task pop-up for you, and it's going to take the content of your email and populate it in the description of your task, populate the title of your email as your task subject. System will recognize what client you're already speaking with. So that can save you time, keeping track of where this task is related. And then really all you have to do at this point, if those all look good and you don't want to make changes, is give yourself an estimated task time and assign out the dates that you are planning to work on it. And you can make a task that easy.
Turning your emails that require action into tasks so the work gets done. That's super handy. Okay, what if the email is more complicated than just one task? Do you know any other tricks for helping us manage these emails that require that additional action beyond a simple reply?
Yeah, so in that scenario, I would recommend a slightly different approach. So I'm going to exit out of this task now so I can show you that. So if we go back to our drop-down menu, you're going to see there are a couple options to convert in Accelo. And these are great for handling, like you said, requests that are a bit more complicated. And we can use these convert buttons to turn our emails directly into an object in Accelo. So for example, we see teams who deal with a lot of IT or technical support related requests using the convert to ticket option to turn the emails they receive with those support requests directly into tickets that they can manage. Or if you are someone who maybe receives a inquiry into your business's services, the convert to sale option is a really great way to get a sale started to track that potential new business. So we're going to walk through converting an email to a sale now. I'm going to go ahead and press that convert to sale button. And you can see, much like with creating a new task, the benefit of doing this is all the email details have pre-populated the sale. Note that we have our company already identified for us. It's a sale title based off of our email as well as the email content. And so this sale will default to the person who is logged in as a salesperson. But if you need to hand this off to someone else on your team, you could certainly choose someone else. So yeah, just another great way to save some time and quickly turn an email into an object.
I like what I'm seeing there. Great stuff, Corinne. Now, if you work like me, then often you're looping in teammates in conversations to bounce ideas off each other, help solve more complicated issues, or even share learnings. Our implementation team does this all the time, right, Corinne? So let's show them how we easily link our teammates to the right email or note to read within our deployment.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back to our inbox in order to show you that. And you are totally spot on. It's very common where on our team where we might need to quickly share an email. So for example, if I'm working on implementation, I get a really highly technical question that I need to tap in someone to help with. This is a great way for me to share that email thread with the person who's helping me. So if we go back to our three-dot menu and select that, you'll notice there is an option to copy an activity link. And so what this does is this is going to copy for me a link that is direct to this email thread. And then I can quickly share that link with other staff members in a note, a chat, a document, via carrier pigeon, whatever.
Yeah, that drop-down menu is a gold mine. Guys, on the call today, I highly recommend exploring all the drop-down menus that you have access to in your deployment. You never know what undiscovered time-saving trick is waiting for you there. So staying on this hot topic of all things activities and inboxes in Accelo, let's check out a great tip for templating those emails that you send out over and over in your role.
Yeah, so staying on our menu here, this is definitely one of my favorites and a huge time saver for our clients. If you're someone who's like me and you frequently send very similar emails, for example, when we onboard new clients, we like to introduce them to our many resources. And so that's a pretty standardized message for me. So a great way to save time is to templatize that message. And you can use emails that you've already written. So for example, Pam sent off this request here to get some more information around an order, probably a request that she sends off fairly frequently. So she can go ahead and turn that into a template by selecting the Create Activity Template option. And what this will do is it will take my email content and template it out for me. And if I save this template, I'll be able to use it in the future. Another great call out while we are here, since we are talking about time-saving tricks. When you're creating templates like these, don't forget that you can also take advantage of what are called merge fields in Accelo to insert a field that will automatically replace that field with the corresponding data point. So for example, Pam's got a nice generalized email right here, but if she wants to make it a little personal, she could address this to a recipient using a merge field so that anytime she uses this template, she'll automatically pull in that recipient's name. So just because you're using activity templates doesn't mean your emails can't be personal.
Yep. If that's not working smarter instead of harder, then I don't know what is. So now this next trick is specifically for Gmail users. So I know this won't apply to everyone on the webinar today, but it was too cool not to share. Corinne, can you please show us the Gmail add-on and what it can do?
Sure thing. So while Accelo is your one-stop shop for managing all of your client work, we do know Accelo users still check their email platform from time to time, catch up on those emails that aren't related to your client work. So for our Gmail users, we've got an add-on that can help you stay in sync with Accelo even when you leave the platform, which can save a lot of time. So I'm gonna actually head over to Pam's Gmail because Pam already has the Google app installed. So to walk you through what this app does is for any email in your Gmail that you open up, like this one that Pam sent off, the app will give us information on that email. So you can see the little Accelo icon over here and a little expanded menu with details. And this expanded menu tells me things like what client this email is related to. It looks like this one's even tied to a specific project. And then not only does it give us info, but we can even start to action things from here. You can see I can open this email up directly in Accelo, or I could even build a task from my Gmail. Or if I notice this email was maybe associated with the wrong project, something like that, I could relocate it. So a lot of options for you there, all from your Gmail, which enable you to work more efficiently.
If you loved everything you just saw and you're a Gmail user, then check out the help guide link we're sharing in the chat right now. Use this to install the Gmail add-on after today's live training webinar. Okay, so the answer is yes. We do have some more tips and tricks up our sleeves. So the next few we want to share with you are all about letting your fingers do the walking. Yep, hotkeys. Corinne, are you ready to share those nifty keyboard shortcuts?
Yeah, so if you guys are working so efficiently that you think even all this clicking around is too much for you, I do have some hot tips on some hotkeys. So just FYI, if you don't know what a hotkey is, they are essentially keyboard shortcuts. You might be more familiar with some of the Windows hotkeys, for example, like Control-C to copy something and Control-V to paste something. But you might be less familiar with the Accelo hotkeys. So let me let you in a little secret. We got a few hotkeys of our own that can help save you time. And I mean that pretty literally, because one of those hotkeys can help us log time. If you need to log time in Accelo, all you have to do if you have your Accelo account open, like I do now, is press the comma on your keyboard. And so I just press the comma and you can see it popped up the log time screen for me. And I could easily look up what I'm logging time for and make some notes on my time log. I'm going to exit out of this one though, because I got a few more for you. Also, if you want to quickly create a task, again, in your Accelo account, if you press the T on your keyboard, the letter T, that will open up a create task screen. All right, and the last one I got for you is if you press the / on your keyboard, that's gonna direct you to the global search tool. Now, I don't know if you caught that sleight of hand, but if you look up to the top in my search bar right now, my cursor is already in there ready for typing. And that's because I had entered the / on my keyboard. This hotkey is super handy because you can use the search bar in Accelo to find anything in your account. So it's a great thing to be able to jump to quickly.
All right, so useful hotkeys for you guys to take away are the comma for logging time, the letter T for creating a task, and the / to jump up to the global search bar. Now that we're here, let's keep exploring tips and tricks for the global search bar. Corin, what other hidden gems do you have for us?
Yeah, so even in our global search bar, you're going to have some handy hotkeys you can use. And these are helpful because this is a global search bar after all, and we've got a lot of data in our Accelo account. So our search results tend to return a lot of results. So for example, if I want to look up one of our clients, Vance Refrigeration, and I start typing Vance, I get numerous results relevant to this keyword. You can see I got a company, a contact, a couple tickets, all sorts of results. This is probably more results than I want in this search. Now, I could select the companies filter right now, which would narrow down my search results to just companies. But I am here to help you guys optimize and reduce clicks. So instead, let's work a little smarter and take advantage of some of the hotkeys. So instead of starting your search off with your keyword, we're going to start it off with a hotkey and let Accelo know what specifically we're looking for. So we're searching for a company. So I'm going to start typing in the word company. I don't even have to finish typing in the word company. Accelo recognizes that's what I'm beginning to type. And if I hit tab, it will narrow my search results to only be searching in companies. And now if I type Vance in again, you can see I've got a lot more specific search results, and I can easily get to this company. So you can use that hotkey for all sorts of objects in Accelo, from projects, tickets, tasks, etc.
These search bar tricks are ones that I personally use every day. They're awesome for share. I mean, they're very useful, and sharing them with you guys is giving me a whole new appreciation for them. Okay, so who is in and out of projects, companies, tickets, retainers every day in Accelo? Yeah, us too. And so we've got a few tips for making it even easier for you to get to these work objects. Corin, can you show us how?
I'd love to, because this is something personally I could not survive without. I don't know what I did before recently viewed and favorites in Accelo. They're great, and if you've got work in Accelo that you frequently access, you save a lot of time by leveraging these tools. So let's take Pam, for example. Pam's been working on a special project. She's working on a holiday rush order for one of their clients who's requested some special paper for their holiday branding. And this paper is not paper they have in their normal inventory. So of course, Pam now has the responsibilities to figure out how to make this special order work and deliver it on time. Needless to say, Pam's been looking at this particular project a lot. So instead of using our search bar right now to type in the project name, I'm going to recommend that we go over to our projects menu. And you'll notice in our projects menu, we have our recently viewed projects. And like I said, Pam's been looking at this one a lot. So she's got her holiday special rush order right at the top so she can easily access it that way. Now, if you're someone who manages many projects, you might have a pretty lengthy list of projects you're viewing frequently. And certainly some projects you need to prioritize over the other. So in that scenario, I might recommend you take another step here, which is favoriting this project so that you can easily reference it. So in order to favorite an object, all you have to do is in the top right corner, you'll have a little favorite star. And if we click it, we're able to make this a favorite. And what happens now is if we go back to our projects menu, we have a new favorites column, and we have Pam's project right there where it is easy to access.
Another handy tip and a personal favorite of mine too, I use this to easily access my client projects multiple times throughout the day. Thank you, Corin. Seeing as we're already here, let's stay on the project page. Can you please share some shortcuts on this page that are going to save our audience time?
Yeah, so we'll go back to Pam's project. There are some awesome shortcuts on the project overview that can save you time and help you view the most relevant details for your client work quickly. So for example, here's one Easter egg for you. If you're working on a project like this one and you quickly want to see more details about the company without opening the company record, all you have to do is click this little card and we'll be able to get more information on that. Likewise, if we're looking at this project and we want to view our project plan more in full, we want to view all the tasks that make up our project, we also have the option to expand our project plan. And I don't mean milestone by milestone like this. There is actually a great little expand all button up here, which allows you to easily collapse and expand all of your milestones and the tasks that make them up all in one click. Another thing I'm going to call out to you on this page next to our expand and collapse button, we do have some filters, and these can enable us to quickly look at the tasks that matter most to us. So for example, again, if I'm Pam managing this project and all I care about is trying to understand what tasks are still pending, we haven't started or completed them yet, I can choose that option here and narrow down my project plan to just those tasks. So you can see how this would be super helpful, especially if you're looking at a really large project plan. It kind of helps you focus in on the specific details you're looking for. Another filter here that can be helpful, if we undo that task filter, is you can also filter based off of assignee. So for example, if Pam's overseeing this and she's a little nervous about whether or not maybe Dwight is going to get his part of the job done, if we filter by Dwight, we can see all of the tasks that are assigned to him within this project and quickly see that Dwight has completed this task, eased our concerns. We don't need to worry about that anymore. All right, so those are really great for focusing on your project plan. One last thing I want to highlight on this page are breadcrumbs, because you guys will see breadcrumbs all throughout Accelo. So for example, we open up one of these tasks. Everything in Accelo by its title will list the breadcrumbs of what that object ties back to. So the task we're looking at right now for warehouse processing, we can see by the breadcrumbs that this task is part of a rush delivery milestone, a holiday special rush order project, and ultimately for our client, the cake company. And these are all links. So if I need to get back to this part of Accelo, I want to get to that company record, I can.
I always highlight the breadcrumb links to my implementation clients. I personally love a good breadcrumb trail when I'm navigating online. It's just so handy. All right, we have one last area in Accelo that we want to share tips with you on. Corin, can you please take us to the daily timesheet and share your knowledge?
Certainly. All right, so I'm just going to click our time icon up here to open my daily timesheet. Kind of tying back to the beginning of our session, this is one of those icons that you can customize. So mine's right now set to open my daily timesheet immediately. And so within our timesheet, there are a couple things that we can do to help save us time. I know a lot of time is often spent in timesheets, pun fully intended. So definitely want to take advantage of tools that'll make it a little easier for us to manage our timesheet. And tools I'm going to call out are going to be a couple filters. Here at Accelo, we do love filters. And you can use these to make your time logging more efficient. So for example, looking at Pam's timesheet here, say it was the end of the day and she's been logging her time all day. You can save some time and you're tired and you don't want to scroll. Instead of scrolling down to the bottom of this page to make sure she's gotten through her end of day time logs, one thing that we can do is go to this option here and adjust our timesheet so that we look at our start time recent, and we can focus on the oldest time logs, or I should say the time logs that are furthest throughout the day. Likewise, if you are trying to wrap up your day, you're trying to get out to that holiday party, and you just want to focus on the work you haven't logged time for, there is also a filter for that. So this type option can be really helpful for that purpose. If we select it, you'll see we have the option to filter based off of work without time. And now I've quickly identified all the things that I have not captured my time for, and I could quickly work through these and update my time logs so I can, like I said, get out of the house and get to the party.
Wow, thanks so much, Corin. We covered a lot of useful stuff today. I know personally that when I learned these tips and tricks, I only wish that I had known them sooner. So I hope that everyone on today's call learned something new and is able to take away these tips and apply them today into your roles and working in Accelo. If this has you inspired and you're looking to continue your journey of improving the way you work in Accelo, then our Expert Services program might be in your future. We know every service business is unique and it can operate in different ways. And our expert services are consultative sessions in nature, where we take the time to listen and understand how you operate and then present you with the best recommendations based on your use case. They're truly customized to help you solve complex business problems or optimize the processes in your business. So some examples of what could be covered in these sessions include like a detailed account audit, and this would be to optimize your configuration, assistance with tackling operational challenges, or even advanced end user training for your team. So if you're interested in finding out more about expert services, you can email success@accelo.com, and an account manager will arrange a 30-minute no obligation scoping call to understand your challenges and propose recommended sessions to resolve them. And if you choose to purchase the sessions and go ahead with the training, you might end up with myself or Corin as your product knowledge expert to guide you through those training sessions. You can also find more information about this on our Success Services webpage. And for reference, the website is www.accelo.com/resources/services. And we're going to share that link in the chat right now for you. So as you apply the tools, tips, and tricks from today's webinar, if you have any questions, then head to our community forum to post and connect with fellow clients. Here, you can also connect with our friendly, knowledgeable support team. And the goal of the community is to provide you with a single location where you can go to stay in the know about everything to do with Accelo. And of course, it's designed to connect our customers together. So in the community, we have a support forum. This is where you could go, ask questions, get advice, and be connected by our highly trained support engineers. We also have the developer forum. So this is where folks can discuss, share ideas, and ask questions about what can be done with our open API. We also have our knowledge base. This is a growing repository of help articles created by our support engineers, which you guys can access on your own if you ever run into anything or get stumped in Accelo. So if you haven't already, guys, head along to community.accelo.com and register today to be a part of the Accelo community. We're also going to drop this link in the chat right now for you. Okay, so it's time for some Q&A. And we've seen a number of questions come through the chat. So I'm going to pull some of them out for us to discuss. There was one that came through from Sarah, and it's a great idea, and we're on the same page here, Sarah. After today's webinar, we're going to share a little cheat sheet that we've put together, summarizing the tips and tricks that we went over today. And so we'll include this in the follow-up email that goes out, and this can be something that you guys can refer back to or even share with your team. All right, Corinne. So we had a great question come through here, and it's in relation to those activity templates. So once we've created an email template, how can we access it again to send it to a client?
Excellent call out there. So I'm going to walk you guys through how you guys can take advantage of those activity templates that you create. Basically, whenever you go to add an activity in Accelo, whether that's an internal note or email to a client, you're going to see the little icon for our activity templates in the right corner of that activity. And if we select that, you'll be able to find your templates there. So you'll notice you can have some personal templates. This is my categories, and they can be structured in a folder. You can also create shared categories as well that enable you to share templates across teams. So for example, it looks like Pam's got a birthday party reminder template in here. She's also sharing it with the greater team because she works on the party planning committee, and maybe she's not always responsible for setting this template out. But you can see how quick and easy that was for me to navigate to those activity templates, choose the one I wanted, and now I'm ready to address this email to whoever needs to receive it and send it off.
Nice. I know that for our team, Corinne and I, we use activity templates and the categories every day in our jobs. You know, we have a call with a client, and then there's always a follow-up email. So really great time-saving feature that we use. All right, another question that came through was about whether we can export time entries. And so we checked out time entries in our daily timesheet view, but Corinne, can you show us where we can export time entries from in Accelo?
Yeah, let me get out of this email so I can show you that. Place I'd recommend to go if you need to export, your own timesheet, or if you're a manager and you're want to get the data for your staff out of Accelo. If we go back up to that time icon, there is a timesheet overview option. And this is a super flexible report that you can utilize to get exports from. You'll notice you have lots of options when it comes to this report. You can filter it based off of users in the system, or if you want timesheets focused on specific companies or specific projects, you can do that. Let's stick with our user example. If I set this to users, I can further filter this more if I want to focus on a specific user. So if Pam just wants to focus on hers, she can narrow this overview down by that, specify what time frame she wants to see her timesheet in. And then once she's happy with her filters, she can go ahead and choose the export options up here. So we've got two different types of exports. They're both a CSV file. Just one provides a little more detail than the other, just depending on what you're looking for. And by filtering our data first in Accelo, we can save ourselves a little time by giving us that focused, filtered data export.
Nice. Thanks, Corin. So we had a question come through, and the answer is, yeah, we do have a lot of resources available to you guys to help support you through navigating Accelo. And they're wondering, what's the most efficient way to find the right help guide or get an answer to a product question?
That's a good one, since we have been focusing on, moving quickly in our account. So one thing that I want to call out is wherever you are in your account, there will be a little help life preserver following you around. And if we click that help life preserver, what this will do for you is it'll give you two things. It'll give you some recommendations of some tutorials and help guides. And you'll notice those recommendations are targeted to the page you're on. So we're on our timesheet overview right now. We've got some time-specific guides listed here. If you need a little more help than that, we do have the ability to submit a support request or support question to our support team. Or as Siobhan mentioned earlier, if you're looking to tap into the knowledge of our full community, so not just our product experts, but fellow Accelo users like you, you also have that community as an option.
Nice. And Corin, I'm pretty sure if we head to the bottom left corner under feedback, there are direct links to the community from right inside your deployment guide. Nice, that's it. Okay, next question I've got for you. Can I make my default home screen my favorites?
Yeah, that's a good question. Time back to the beginning of our webinar. So we went through with Pam favoriting a project, which is super helpful when she goes through her projects menu. But there are some other ways, if her favorites are her priority, that we can make a little easier to get to those. And those live in her personal preferences. If we go back to that default screen settings option, there's a bookmarks option that you guys can use, and that will give you a home screen landing page that will feature your favorites.
Awesome. All right. It looks like I've got just one more question for you here, Corin. Is there a way to use Accelo to organize and quickly access external links related to my client work?
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. So, Accelo, it's intended to be your one-stop shop for all your client work. So it's best practice to track even your external links in Accelo so that you and all of your team can reference them. A common example we see here is maybe needing to keep track or keep record of like a cloud-based presentation, maybe a Google Slides presentation. So a couple recommendations on that. We can actually use maybe Pam's project again as an example. In Accelo, you do have the ability for your work to include related attachments. So you'll notice Pam's project here does have an attachments tab, and within it, she has a dedicated attachments folder for this project that she can attach files from her computer, or also link directly to her Google Drive, or even any web address she desires. So this is a great option. Another thing to keep in mind though too is if you guys do have external links that you're frequently referencing and you really want to consistently keep track of those links, another option you can take advantage of is our custom fields. I think we might have an example on Pam's, like we do. So you can see here on Pam's project, she's keeping track of a link to her supplier catalog, and that's something she frequently has to record. So she's added a custom field to this project so that she can easily capture that data and will consistently capture it for her project going forward.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that, Corin.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. This does bring us to the end of our live training webinar. So I hope this was helpful for you all. This was one I was very excited to work on just because these tips really do save you time, and I love sharing that kind of information with you. So any questions that we didn't get to in the Q&A channel will be answered via email as soon as possible. And I'd like to say thank you to everyone for joining us today. We'll be sending the video recording to you all along with a feedback survey. And we're also going to include that cheat sheet, which will summarize all of the tips that we went over today. So that feedback survey, it's also going to pop up after the webinar ends. And within that survey, you can include topic areas that you'd like to see covered in future webinars. And so we have a number of topics that we have planned for early next year, but we're in the middle of planning for webinars for next year, and we would love to hear from you on what you would like to experience next year. And so then we'll be able to tackle these topics together in the sessions. You'll be receiving an invitation to these future webinars as well, and this recording will also be available on our website in our video tutorials library. That is all that I have for you today. Take it easy, everyone. Good luck with the rest of December and happy holidays. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.